All right, a world of tests and standards. So we've looked at assessing children. Now we're going to go on to standards and standardized tests, okay? So again, these are different terms that we throw around very flippantly and don't understand what they actually mean. So standards are outcomes. Standards or outcomes is what you hear, especially in education, being thrown around all the time, and we need to know what that term actually stands for. So a standard is a statement that defines a goal or a practice to give clarity to the subject matter. So what is the purpose of learning this? If you look at our course syllabus, we have our student learning outcomes. That is the standards that this class is based on. I said it the first time we met, when you walk out that door 18 weeks later, if you've learned nothing else, those outcomes are what I hope you know. That's what our entire class is guided off of, are those outcomes. Every single one of your college class, by the way, has student learning outcomes. Every single one of your instructors, by the way, assess how those students do on student learning outcomes. And what is the purpose of that information? To see how well they're teaching. That's the purpose of assessing our student learning outcomes. If you're not learning, why is it that 3/4 of my class didn't get that outcome? Is it that 3/4 of my class has something wrong? What's the common denominator? Me, as an instructor. If you didn't get it, and most of you didn't get it, if one person didn't get it, 2 person didn't get it, that's different. If most of you didn't get the outcome that gave clarity to the subject matter, it's me. It's the teacher. That translates from college instructors all the way down to teachers in an ECE classroom. If none of your children are able to use scissors, what might be the common denominator? If 3/4 of your children are exhibiting behavior and challenging problems in your classroom, what's the common denominator? You, your classroom. So we have standards to give clarity to the subject matter and to what we hope the children will gain, the students will gain, however you want to do. Set expectations for achievements. We use standards to say, by 1st grade, children should know this. By 2nd grade, children should know that. By 3rd grade, children should know this, right? We see these types of standards applied in that format as we go through the K through 12 field. Set benchmarks for accountability. So accountability either for students or for the teachers, okay? So standards are there for a purpose. Are standards bad? You hear this thrown around all the time. That, oh, Common Core is horrible because it's all these standards. Look at what standards are. Are they bad? No. No, they're not. Should you know when you enroll in this college classroom what the expectation is going to be when you walk out of here in 18 weeks? Yes. Should I assess myself to see how well you guys learned that concept? If 3/4 of you, if I look at my SLOs, student learning outcomes, and 3/4 of you walk out of here and don't know that concept, should I change the way I'm teaching, or should I say, they're just a bunch of idiots, maybe the next class will be better? I should change the way I'm teaching, correct? Yes, that's the purpose. So don't get caught up in what society keeps throwing around, that standards are bad. Standards are not bad. We need to know basically, and even when we apply it, to basically what 3- and 4-year-olds know. Do we have a certain scale, that's not the right term, a certain, continuum of what children basically know from 3 to 4, from 4 to 5? Yes. Do we know based on research what most 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and 5-year-olds should know? Children should be reading anywhere from the time they're 4-year-old to they're 8 years old. If they're not reading at their 9, is there a concern? That's a standard that needs to be met. Okay? Standards are not bad. How they're applied, how they are assessed, that's what is happening and why we're really off kilter. Okay? So use your critical thinking. The next time someone says standards are horrible, understand it is not standards that are horrible. Do we need to assess children to see what we're doing wrong, how we can better support them, and figure out if there's special need intervention that needs to happen? Yes, we do want those things, okay? And we get those things from standards or outcomes, all right?